tiny weeny compared to a VMAX. So this is how you know that whoever was last working on it was awesome and really paying attention to what they were doing. So yeah, that's all just hanging off there, and then this carb heater wire is rubbing on the cable. That should clearly be routed up underneath. It's a good start, isn't it? This is what we're up against by the looks of things. Okay, how in that frig are we going to get these out of here? There's no room. What is happening? How on earth? Oh, hang on, maybe they'll come this way. Oh, hang on. Help if we disconnected the fuel pipe, wouldn't it? Where's my pliers? Hello? I know you're out somewhere because I was using you. Oh God. What have I done with them? Put them in here. Negative. This is a fucking awesome video, Jim. People can listen to you trying to find a pair of fucking pliers. What on earth have I done with them? Don't accuse me of not being entertaining. Oh, there you go. Where they're supposed to be. Right. Okay. Whoa, bendy. Okay. Oh yes, there we go. Now then, do I have... Oh, why are you cable tied on there? Oh, I could have just undone it there, look, couldn't I? That's it. One set of carburetors. Have I got blanks that size? Probably not. Soon fix that though. Tiny weeny compared to a VMAX. Going to wheel over me 34mm. Okie dokie. So another nail in the coffin of the chimpanzee that was last working on this that I've just noticed. Remember I said it had a diaphragm on this cylinder. I think it got mixed up because the guy was talking about this cylinder, and that's why I thought this was the cylinder it had the dead miss on. But this is the cylinder that has had the diaphragm, and I can tell that because the slide lift hole, I can get the pick in it, is 180 degrees out. This lift hole that I've got my pick in now, this pick, should be closest to the butterfly, like the other three. Oh dearie me, it's turning into one of those. Right, let me put my camera down. I'll time-lapse these apart maybe. Maybe I won't even do that. Let's see what other horrors we can uncover. Okay guys, let me get you a closer look. So basically, pretty disgusting. The carb that was giving the trouble, the misfire cylinder, is this one, and in the bottom of that float bowl is some kind of crustiness that's all loose. If it'll focus, I'm wagering that that pilot jet is partially blocked. You can just, we can see as they're drying out, as the fuel's evaporating, you can see how crusty they are. I mean, I'm struggling to believe, looking at the state of these float bowls, that they have been apart any time recently. And certainly, like, if you look at the float bowl gasket, look how crusty that gasket is. They have been apart. They didn't use new. I mean, look at this. Fuck's sake. Okay. Let's get them more apart, get all the jets out and stuff. I'm just going to order some basic parts, some float bowl gaskets, some float needle valves. We'll give them a good scrub, put them back together properly, and I think that'll take care of that little piggy, to be honest with you. And then we need to pull the inlet manifold rubbers off and understand why we have a vacuum leak. I think it's probably where the inlet manifold rubber meets the cylinder head. That would be my gut feeling on that, but we'll have a look. Right, let's get these more apart. Absolutely minging as expected. I also found the pilot jet on that cylinder that wasn't running on properly to be blocked up solid, or almost solid. I could just see a tiny little chink of daylight through it, so that's why we had that bad idle on that one cylinder, just a simple blocked pilot jet. And then let me show you what I found with the inlet manifold. So I've just taken one of these this manifold off. This is the one I suspected of leaking, and you know, I sprayed some GT85 down in the orifice here so I could get these plugs in. Well, when I pulled it off, see how wet it all is. So the GT85 has run down inside and it's chased out through past this O-ring here that seals it. So I think that's my issue. I think the manifold, it just isn't sealing properly as it's got old. That's quite a common problem. The rest of the manifold actually looks in all right condition. There's something a little bit weird going on here. Anyway, I think that's an easy enough fix. The manifolds aren't all hard and splitting like they sometimes are. So I'll clean this up and I'll glue it back down with a little bit of 3-bond, and I'll also do the other 3, so they're all sealed. So these manifolds aren't going to be cheap, so that's going to save a little bit of money. Let's order the rest of the carburetor parts. Nothing too complicated. Some float bowl gaskets, some float needle valves, a few O-rings and bits and pieces. I've got new screws and stuff, JIS ones in stock. Let's build a nice set of carburetors, get these sealed up, and let's see where we end up. Right, I'll get to ordering some parts and then I'll bring you back in when they arrive and we'll go from there. Several days later. So what's been going on? Parts have arrived. I made an executive decision. Inlet manifold rubbers were available in a Tormax box, but as we know, a lot of Tormax stuff is actually the genuine part in a Tormax box. Doesn't often apply these days to things like carburetor parts, but when you get odd bits like this, they're generally, you know, they're genuine Yamaha. Nobody's making odd inlet manifold rubbers like this. These are genuine Yamaha. Tormax have sourced them, put them in a box. So I've got those. They were less. I went with these because they were less than, I think they were £120 for a set of 4, which is a bargain in my opinion. And given that the O-ring was sort of, yeah, what to say. The O-ring is part of the, in case you were wondering when you saw the other saw me showing you the inlet manifold leak, the O-ring is part of the body. It's moulded into it, so you can't pop the old O-ring out and replace it with a new one. So the only way to seal them is to use a little bit of 3-bond. Not necessarily a bad thing, you know, so long as you don't go crazy and you wipe it all off the inside if it squidges. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad way of getting yourself out of a problem, but waffleage, new ones, not expensive, so I've gone with those. Got some float ball gaskets, some new float needle valves. The carbs have had their usual flush through with chemical over the course of a few days. Then they've been washed down with brake cleaner, airlined off. They haven't been in the ultrasonic tank. Once again, shock horror. The jets are all there. They're all clean, so they had a soak in the Jim's Special Juice and brake cleanered off, airlined off, so that's what they come out like. So they are raw brass, absolutely squeaky clean. What else to say? There's a few new screws, JIS head, of course, because we don't like rounded off heads on screws, do we? Some tiny little O-rings there. There's a bit of a quirk with these carbs in that the jet holder screws into the carb body, and then you drop a little O-ring in before you put the main jet in. Bit of a weird setup that, but that's there for that. So nothing really majorly wrong as far as I can see. Nothing's worn out. Obviously we're going to put the slide back in the correct place because you know it was 180 degrees. Yeah, we'll deal with that. Let's build a really nice set of carbs. Let's put them on the bike and let's see where we end up. I think this is going to be the end of part 2. This is going to be a short one, and the reason it's a short one is it's Thursday night and I need a video for tomorrow. So I'm flying by the seat of my pants a little bit here. I need a video. I've been doing a video every Friday for like the last 4, 5, 6 months. 6 months probably now. 7 months even. And I don't want to not have a video out on a Friday. And I thought about, I've got a video I wanted to do. I wanted to make a video, 3 tools I wouldn't live without, or something along those lines, which is, I've got a video in my head that I want to make, and I nearly made that today, but I've been working on this Royal Star, and I thought, oh fuck it, I'll make a part 2 for you, and then the putting the, I won't bother, fucking hell Jim, stop waffling, I won't bother showing you these going together, but I'll show you fitting them and running it and the road test and stuff in part 3. Anyway, crikey, hope you enjoy it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all that bollocks, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks guys.